Allison, you're chasing a story. Divorce. There's a club for that.
Sure is. So clubs are all over the place. You have fitness clubs, book clubs, and now divorce clubs. The Maplewood Divorce Club, based in Maplewood, New Jersey, was started in 2013 by Jill Sockwell and Suzanne. They were both going through a divorce at the time when a mutual friend had suggested that they meet one another.
When I got divorced about 5 years ago, I didn't have any family who had gotten divorced before. I didn't have any close friends. So I felt isolated and like I didn't really have a support group.
So the two met and got along really well, and they thought, why not invite other women? Would they show up? And that they did. Their first meeting had around 50 people come, and they were surprised by the turnout.
And everybody was ready to talk and share really deep personal things that they were going through. And suddenly we had a divorce club with all these women who really were benefiting from each other's company.
Since the first meeting went so well, they decided to continue it. Right now they meet around once a month and alternate whose home it's at.
I think sometimes people might think that a divorce club could potentially glamorize divorce, and that's not at all what we're setting out to do. We're really setting out to have kind of a sisterhood, if you will, of family-like support.
When I attended the meeting, there were around 10 people there. They had like appetizers, they had someone doing readings in the other room, but for the most part, they just shared stories and gave advice.
I tend to be very private and concerned about sharing or asking for help, and I think that when you make the choice to join a group, you're also saying that you're vulnerable and that you aren't able to do it by yourself. And that's not something I was ready to say. And then finally, I had to admit that I did need a group of people to help.
So I felt that it was essentially group therapy. Each woman was at a different stage, of her divorce and would give advice to someone else at a different stage. When I first pitched this story, I kind of thought, oh my gosh, what am I getting myself into? It's going to be a bunch of women complaining about their ex-husbands.
I was just going to ask you,
truth,
is it like a man-haters club or is it not?
It could not be further from that. While they do joke at times, while they do joke at times, there were also very real tears. One woman hadn't even told her children yet. It was heart-wrenching. And, no one talked ill of their ex-husbands. Like, their first priority for everyone there was their children, and second was how are they going to live on their own, because many of them were dependent on their husbands.
I'm glad that a group like this exists, because divorce is disorienting in a lot of ways. For example, you've been married for 15, 20 years, maybe you haven't worked in 10, all of a sudden, oh my God, I have to come up with another income to stay in my house potentially, to raise my kids.
I think rip off the Band-Aid, go even further, throw a divorce party, and suck on lollipops. Party favors.